What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, coming back at you on Thursday evening, June 2nd, 2022. Can you believe we're already in the month of June? Time is really just flying right on by. But of course, we are back with another issue of the Bungie Weekly Blog, This Week at Bungie. This time around, taking aim at elucidating a bit on some of the changes with this week's Iron Banner. Of course, Iron Banner Rift is a thing. Lord Saladin saw his inventory revamped to be more akin to that of Saint 14, Lord Shaxx, and Commander Zavala. And as we make our way further into week 2 of Season of the Haunted, Bungie's going to be addressing some of the feedback with Solar 3.0, which we here on the channel certainly had a lot of. If you missed out on some of it, make sure you go and check out this week's episode of the Planet Destiny podcast. But with all that being said, of course, Iron Banner is the name of the game this week. If you haven't had a chance to, make sure you dive in and play at least one game of the Iron Banner Rift game mode. If you're a veteran Guardian from D1, you may remember Rift as a game mode from PvP in that game. But of course, it's seen some pretty big changes here in D2. But along with those changes, we also basically got a brand new system with Iron Banner for daily challenges rather than the daily and weekly bounties that we would have in previous seasons. And that has caused a little bit of confusion for some of the Guardians out there. So Bungie took some time to address those daily challenges and exactly how those are going to be working in Iron Banners moving forward. We've seen some confusion over the daily challenges that can be found when hovering over the Iron Banner node. So we wanted to resurface what was previously shared about this mechanic for anyone that may have missed it. As noted in the previous TWAB, for the first 4 days of each Iron Banner week, Guardians will unlock a new daily challenge, one for each day. These challenges unlock each day whether you complete them or not. So, if you log in on Friday, you can do them all in succession if you want to. Rewards will also stack reputation bonuses for the remainder of the week alongside a Pinnacle Iron Engram. The weekly bounties that typically award pinnacles have been deprecated appropriately to balance out this change to Iron Banner. These work similarly to weekly challenges and can be found in the node for Iron Banner Rift. And so there we go. Of course, if you're somebody who came into Iron Banner, maybe this is your first time jumping in, you hadn't caught some of the previous news, you might have been confused about where those weekly bounties went. Those have been converted into the daily challenges that you can see by hovering over the Iron Banner node. And I will be the first person to say, I think the UI probably could have done a better job of presenting those daily challenges. Maybe if they made it as kind of like a quest that you pick up from Lord Saladin that gets updated day by day by day. Maybe that would have been a better way to show people what the daily challenges were going to be, since hovering over the node wound up confusing a lot of players. But one of the other big topics of conversation over the course of the last couple of weeks has of course been Solar 3.0 and its impact on the sandbox. There was initially a lot of disappointment with Solar 3.0 about a lot of the things that certain subclasses lost and what we gained and whether or not it matched up to Void 3.0. I myself had a lot of complaints about the Solar 3.0 system, though I think there are a lot of things that I do like about it. Well, Bungie's been taking in a lot of feedback and they're already working on making some major changes to Solar 3.0. We even got to hear from Sandbox Discipline Lead Kevin Yanez. Here's some of what he had to say. A common feedback thread is some frustration around losing elements like Heart of the Pack or nerfs to things like Sunspots or Benevolent Dawn. I definitely feel that last one. We know that losing things can feel unsatisfying or painful at first blush. But part of our 3.0ification of these classes is also a rebalancing of some of these atoms. Those passive or self-looping ability regen benefits silently power crept over the years to levels that made them too dominant in many activities. With our focus on build crafting, we don't want to have one singular perk complete large parts of your kit by itself. As we continue the process of moving the light subclasses into the 3.0 system, you'll see us continue to rebalance gameplay atoms in this manner, with the goal that the new combinations and possibility space they open up will offset the loss of any one perk. Initial reactions to Solar have not met our new thing that melts your face off bar, and we believe that's due in part to a few things. 1. Ember of Benevolence shipped in an inconsistent state that left healers feeling underwhelmed with their kit when it didn't behave as expected. 2. Warlocks who wanted to specialize in healing had limited ways to interface with that fantasy, with 2 of their 3 aspects focusing on aerial mobility or scorching, and losing the flexibility of choosing to use their grenade to heal allies or damage enemies on the fly. 100% agree with that sentiment. And then finally, for Titans, while they're bombastic and potent, they lacked ways to keep their engine running without needing to run Throwing Hammer or burning multiple cooldowns. As we've said in the past through TWABs, socials, and other dev updates, we'd much rather ship something a little too spicy than something bland that makes a bad first impression. I think with Solar 3.0, we landed somewhere in the middle, and the team feels very passionately that this is the wrong place to be. To that end, the team has pulled some heroics and shifted resources to make some buffs to Heat Rises, Icarustash, Celestial Fire, Burning Maul, Roaring Flames, and Consecration, as well as bug fixes for Ember of Benevolence and a few of our damage over time Linger grenades. These changes will go live next week with hotfix 4.1.0.2, and here's the changes they're talking about. Starting off for Solar Warlocks, Heat Rises. They've added some behavior to it. Consuming your grenade now also releases a burst of cure ×2 around you, healing you and your nearby allies. Consuming a healing grenade increases the strength of the burst to cure ×3, and consuming a Touch of Flame healing grenade provides restoration as an additional benefit. Really stacking up the healing there. Then for Icarustash, while airborne, rapidly defeating targets with your super or any weapon cures you. This is a great change for Icarustash. Finally, for Celestial Fire, which had all but been left in the dust now that we have the snap, each Celestial Fire projectile now applies 10 Scorch stacks. This is increased to 15 stacks with Ember of Ashes equipped. Great changes for Solar Warlock there. The class really felt like it lost its identity as the almost dedicated healer of the group that we had prior to Solar 3.0, so I'm glad to see some of that functionality has been added into Heat Rises and Icarustash. Next up, Solar Titans. Burning Maul is seeing a change. They've buffed its damage in PvE by 25%. That's huge. Then, Roaring Flames. While Roaring Flames is active, your uncharged melee attack now deals solar damage and applies 30 Scorch stacks to targets per hit. This is increased to 40 stacks with Ember of Ashes equipped. Major change there. And finally, for Consecration. They've increased the slots this fragment gives you from 1 to 2, and they've raised the height of the secondary attack's ground wave by 25% to more easily catch players who jump too late. And there we go, there's some major buffs across the board to 2 of the classes that were feeling a little more underwhelming when it came to Solar 3.0. I don't really think there's too many complaints that Hunters could probably give right now, but I'm very happy to see these buffs for Warlocks and for Titans. And of course, as big as these changes are, of course, Bungie focusing on making these emergency changes to Solar 3.0 does mean that they have to take their focus away from a few other things. And so we likely won't be seeing another big balance pass until much later this season. Either way, I'm very happy to hear about these changes, and I'm very happy to see that Bungie is actively responding to player feedback. But alright, that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. The last thing we have to talk about is some new Prime Gaming rewards. For you Guardians out there who have an Amazon and Twitch Prime Gaming account, you can link your Bungie account to your Twitch account and then receive some Eververse and exotic rewards. These usually change on a month-by-month basis, and this time around, we've got the Polaris Lance Scout Rifle, the Bray Legacy Exotic Weapon Ornament, the Ash Angel Exotic Sparrow, and the Nightmare's Chalice Projection. If you haven't already, make sure you head to Bungie.net and link up your Bungie account with your existing Twitch Prime Gaming account. Get those free rewards. But alright Guardians, that's it for the news, and those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Solar 3.0 buffs that we're going to be getting for Titans and for Warlocks? Is it going to be enough in your eyes to even out the gap of what we lost before Solar 3.0? Be sure to let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. I'm out for now. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.